Welcome back to Building a West Coast Drive, an instructional video series from 2363 Triple Helix. In this episode, this is episode 8, we are going to be finishing up the snap ring grooves on our hex shaft axles, and we are going to locate those snap ring grooves by test fitting the axles in the wheels and the bearing blocks. And then there's going to be a lot of assembly and disassembly of the wheels, the axles, and the bearing plates. So let's get started.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to use our rail and we're going to use our bearing holder to measure the axles to the length that we want to cut them off to. The first thing we need to do is we need to put bearings into these plates. So you can take this bearing, and it's a nice slip fit. See how that slides right in there? Here, you do that on that one. So the way that this works is when it's sitting like this, you're going to take it and set it in place like that, and set this one in place on this side, like this. And now your screws will go through and thread into the other side, like that. So that one goes there, and then this one will go in the opposite corner. So it goes right here. And that will go through. Let's flip this up so you can see it. So go ahead and thread that in there. And you can snug that up. You don't have to make it super duper tight. Good. Then we'll flip this over to the other side and go ahead and snug that side up. The other way. There you go. Good. So now that pretty much locks this in place. And when you have all four of them in here, and you clamp down here, you clamp here, you clamp here, clamp here, that keeps that from moving back and forth. And these bearings now will hold our wheel axles. And to put our wheel axles in place, see how that slides in there? And then you've got to rotate it so it lines up with the hex side, and it sets right in there just like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a snap ring in this snap ring groove and push it all the way up against this bearing, and then we'll put the wheel on here and we'll mark on the other side where we need to put the snap ring groove on this side. The first step in that process is to put a snap ring on here. You can get it a little bit more. Keep going. There, we're close, we're close. There we go. And now you can let go. There. So now that snap ring is installed. That inner race has a hex on it, so you may have to put your finger on that inner race so that when you're trying to line it up, it goes in. There you go. And then to come out the other side, you'll have to do the same thing. You'll have to put your finger on the inner race so it doesn't spin. And now you can rotate the axle and it'll pop right into place. There, perfect. So now we have to get a wheel and put it on here so that we can measure this distance. And the way that we're going to do that is you're going to take these snap ring pliers and you're going to steal a wheel right off of that robot. So you put your two pins in the lugs like that. Okay, I'm trying to push it in there so that it's nice and tight. I'm going to push this axle out. See how that gave me a little bit more space to grab it? Now I'm going to open it, and then you can come out over the top. Now I'm going to put it back on, and I'm going to have you do the same thing. There you go. Keep it nice and straight when you're opening it. There you go. A little bit more. Keep coming. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now on the outside of here, there's a little plastic spacer. You want to take that off next. Yep. And the reason that that's there is if you look at the end of this wheel, see how there's sort of a dimple in it? It's sort of chamfered, it's rounded in there like that. What we have found is that if you just put the snap ring on here, and the snap ring is the thing that's keeping this wheel on here, when you get side forces on the wheel, it tends to want to mushroom out the snap ring and pop it off. So we have standardized on using spacers in between the snap ring and the end of these hubs so that the forces that are into that snap ring are nice and square. So we always use the wheel, a spacer, and then the snap ring. So now you can pull that wheel off of there. Perfect. So what you're going to do is you're going to push on the back side of this axle, push everything into place, and then you're going to take this scribe and you're going to make a scratch mark on here. See that? So we're going to do that on all 6 of these flats. So I'm going to hand that to you, and I'm going to hold this in place, and I'm going to rotate it over, and you're going to make a scratch mark right there. And you have to push down kind of hard to scratch through that aluminum, or through that anodized coating. Push real good. And scratch it. Good. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, you make a mark. Let's check and see. Yep, there's a mark. Okay, we'll go ahead and scratch this one. Oh, that's already got one. How about there? Good. Can you feel it when it goes through?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then that one? Does that one already have a scratch on it? Let's check and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that one's done. Now we'll take our wheel back off. Yep, go ahead and take it off. And then we'll take our axle out, and we're going to mark this axle. Scratch it good. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I go too far? 5. Is that it? Or here, this one? 6. Good. Okay, so that one's marked out. And then bring it back out. Good. Okay, go ahead and check it now. What do we got? Go ahead and rotate it.
Looks like almost exactly there.
Good. So we've got a couple. No, we're good.
Oh, we're good.
You don't want to go too far.
Okay, that's...
Usually we go until a couple of them are gone and a couple are left.
Okay, that way you know it's pretty much in there.
That's right. So you can swap tools to the snap ring tool now. Okay, there we go.
Zero it out.
Yep. Got 10.
Now about another 8.
Okay.
About here.
Let's take a look. A little bit more than that. You want the left side of the tool to be about 1/8 of an inch past the right side of the groove.
About there.
About there. That looks pretty good. Good. There.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect.
Good. Okay, now we can take it out and test fit it.
I'll put a snap ring on this end.
Good.
Yep, that's...
Make sure you put your finger on the other end of that shaft or else you're going to lose it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. You got to push it. There you go. Do you hear it snap?
Yep, I did.
Yeah. And how much play do we have in the wheel? Like in and out?
Yeah.
Is it pretty? Oh, that looks great.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's
Very nice. Okay.
The marks are pretty good.
Yes. So 1 down, 1 to go. Good.
So we actually had it all
Okay.
for test it.
Robert, do you know that your 3D printer was actually at the wall?
Okay. Okay, so if you look in here, See how the plates are not over top of the hole so that you've got metal back there? So we need to loosen that up and slide it this way a little bit so that we're over the hole. Just give it a half a turn and then loosen the other one and slide it over. There we go. That'll help.
Yeah, I think that might help.
Yeah. All right.
Hooray. Wait, I put it in backward though. Wait, I did it again.
All right. Okay.
Oh. That's
Good. Spacer and snap ring. Sweet. Nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, so our outer axles are done. And we're going to use the same techniques to do the center axle and the short shaft that goes through the gearbox, but we need to put the gearbox together with its spacers first.